I have had the privilege of being raised in an advanced Western society. We are taught to appreciate the beauty of Mother Nature's wonders, and we have the technology and expertise to answer just about anything. And science can explain everything, can't it? So Muslims claim that God can be recognized through his many signs, and that the existence of God is the only logical conclusion. And they will say, if only we had been listening or reasoning, we would not be among the companions of the blaze. If that is the case, then these signs should be clear to the average person and not require a rocket scientist to work out the equations for us. So we only need one clear sign to prove that God exists. A sign of the existence of God is that which defies, according to sound judgment, the laws of nature and physics. Let us consider the miraculous explosion which caused the beginning of the universe, known as the Big Bang Theory. This theory is how scientists today explain the origin of the universe. There is a phenomenon called the redshift, discovered by the Hubble telescope, which enabled scientists to discover that galaxies are moving away from each other, which gave rise to this Big Bang Theory. Hawking, a renowned physicist, notes in his book, The Grand Design, that the universe, including all solid matter therein, was non-existent at one point in time. But we know that it is not possible, according to physics, that anything can come into existence from non-existent matter of its own accord. It is well known that if there is nothing in our hands, we cannot will water, for example, to come into them. We would need to get it from a source. Or gold. You cannot think a gold nugget to be in your hand, and then suddenly it is there. Secondly, if an explosion were to take place in a laboratory, it would be assumed that certain components had combined to cause that explosion. We do not see explosions taking place without a cause, which necessitates a powerful creator caused this explosion and brought the universe into existence. Thirdly, scientists previously estimated that the universe is expanding at 74 kilometers a second, which is now regarded as an underestimate, and it is calculated that the rate of expansion of the universe is faster than the speed of light and increasing. So what does that mean? This means that the explosion of the first Big Bang is continuing until now. That means we are living in the midst of an explosion. Let us consider this explosion. If an explosion occurred anywhere, the last thing we would expect to find is any organized matter. But if we take a moment to reflect, the solar system we live in is interwoven with system after system. Doesn't the world feel rather cozy considering we are living in an explosion? Furthermore, although scientists have recently discovered the universe is expanding, this fact has been mentioned in the Quran over 1400 years ago. And the heaven we constructed with strength, and indeed we are its expander. In addition to the impossibility of systems forming in the middle of an explosion, one can also consider the likelihood of single specific accidents taking place. For example, steel. The first time steel was made, it was an accidental meeting of iron ore, coal, limestone, in the conditions of extreme heat with oxygen. However, today someone can come along and reenact the process and remake steel. However, blood cannot be reenacted or recreated, and this is a well-established fact and can be supported by the constant request for blood donors from the medical sector. Therefore, logically, blood could not have been an accident. Additionally, the blood in one's body is one part of a larger system, and each part cannot work without the next. The blood cannot work without the veins, which cannot work without the heart, which cannot work without the lungs, which cannot work without the brain. Like a monitor system, all parts such as cameras, screen, cords and electricity need to be connected in working order for the system to operate. If one part failed, the whole system would fail. Likewise is the blood circulatory system. This constitutes circular reasoning, which is illogical and entails an event which could never occur by itself. The blood needs the heart to pump, the heart needs the brain to trigger it, the brain needs the blood for oxygen, and it goes on. This cycle of dependency continues whereby it never would have eventuated one part at a time by accident, which necessitates a knowledgeable, willful creator who designed it on purpose. Furthermore, all the other interrelated systems need to be considered: the reproductive system, the skeletal system, the immune system. As it is not possible for these systems to come into existence of their own accord at one time, it necessitates a creator who brought it into being. The reproductive system is another example which has been examined. Consider the working functions required for a male and female of a given species to reproduce. In order for a species to reproduce, all the working parts must have existed at the same point in time. And after giving the reproduction system further consideration, it is not plausible that each of these parts would have accidentally formed without a known purpose. And how could the cells know the purpose for which they were forming? Again, this necessitates a creator to design all the functions which are born into the fabric of the cells through intricate DNA coding. The argument of the origin of reproduction systems should also be examined from another two perspectives, namely the evidence of species to evolve new organs to A. reproduce where necessary, and B. thrive in new environments. According to theories of evolution, living cells produced new organs according to their will to live, survive, and thrive. Therefore, in the event any sex of a given species is deprived of a partner, the living cells of that organism should have the ability to produce a new reproductive system to accommodate reproduction of its species. However, this is not the case. On the contrary, human beings have been practicing homosexuality for over 4,000 years, and to this day, no new organs have developed. Furthermore, in the event species had an innate ability to produce new functions in order to survive, we would be witnessing that evolutionary process take place in a world that is changing. However, that is not the case. For example, one of the functions of the human liver is to detoxify the blood, a function which protects the body from harmful waste. In the event that living cells could produce such mechanisms of their own accord, we should see many more evolutionary changes in recent years. However, the evidence suggests the opposite. The fact that animals and insects such as bees are declining due to insecticides, GMOs, and other environmental issues caused by the interference of nature by man suggests that they have no innate ability to produce organs sophisticated enough to protect them against changing elements. The absence of cells producing new protective organs to protect species against changing elements is not restricted to animals. The rate of cancer in people has risen to the extent that the Cancer Research of UK predict that 1 in every 2 people will most likely get cancer. Therefore, if life forms and internal cells were able to develop according to needs, from non-living matter to living matter to start with, then now more than ever we should see cells developing protective mechanisms to combat invasive chemicals, or modified cells, from life-sustaining organs and the body. However, until now there has been no known improvement in DNA, and cell structures to support that theory. On the other hand, wherever you find human interference, you see a level of degradation in the ecosystems and life forms, suggesting that a unique system of life was set in place by our Creator, and any disruption to that complete system threatens its perfect balance. Given the evidences that the universe and life itself must have a creator or God, one could ask here, who created God? However, this would be a fallacious argument which necessitates an infinite regression of finite beings, in which case the existence of the universe would never have occurred. If you have a finite universe and a finite creator, it would have needed another finite creator, which would have needed another finite creator, and it never would have happened. The Quran indicates on the eternal nature of God, and there must have been an infinite, eternal creator who created the universe, who has no need of creating other sub-creators or gods. In addition to evident signs of a creator, scientists have also confirmed the possibility of the world of angels, paradise, and hell coexisting as taught by Muslims. The theory which supports these concepts is known as the multiverse theory. The more scientific concepts are explored, the more it is evident that everything is designed and controlled by an amazing superpower. Take the double-slit experiment, for example. Electrons behave like waves when unobserved, yet the moment they are monitored, they change and begin behaving like matter. Is this really mind over matter? Or is someone watching you? The signs around us are many. Are we prepared to accept them? O God, guide us to the truth and make us sincere. Amen.